Another story, and these are just great stories. I got to tell you, folks, that every day I get prepared for the show, and I choose among probably hundreds of stories to bring the ones to you I think that are kind of the highlights of the day, but there are always many more. And I love talking with you. I always feel like the show goes by too fast every day, but I want to turn and tell you something Ilhan Omar did. And this is something I want you to really pay attention. Ilhan Omar is a problem. I'm sure you know if you listen to the show. She's a member of U.S. Congress, a Democrat from the state of Minnesota. She's a Somalian Islamic refugee. She has made countless statements mocking and deriding Israel, Judaism. She's deeply anti-Semitic. And as Ayaan Hirsi Ali and others have pointed out, when you grow up as a member of the Muslim faith in Somalia, of course you grow up being anti-Semitic. It is part of the Islamic doctrine. In fact, the Quran, back to the Quran, this party in Canada likes so well, the Quran filled with instructions and denouncements of Jews, urging killing Jews, just the most profoundly disgusting anti-Semitic stuff in the Quran. And that's what these people want. But back to Ilhan Omar. She put out a tweet, and I can't remember if I had time to send this to the wonderful. Yeah, I did. Okay. This is her tweet. I'm going to tell you about it. This is Ilhan Omar's tweet. Somali government and peacekeeping forces need to protect Hamoud and the Somali telecom industry as they make enormous contribution to the economy and provide vital services. We can skip the rest. So Ilhan Omar is standing up for in a tweet, and this is a tweet she put out in August. It wasn't like 2 years ago. So just so you know who this Hamoud is, she's standing up for. This is a Somalian telecom company founded by a guy named Ahmed Nur Ali Jamali, founded in April of 2002. And this character, this founder of this telecom company in Somalia that she's tweeting about, we have to protect them, we have to take care of them, don't let anybody hurt them. This guy, Jamali, founded this in April 2002. So, United Nations Security Council, in a report from July 2009, talked about this very guy, Jamali, and his company, Hormud, as being a direct supporter of Al-Shabaab, the jihadist militant Islamic terrorist group in Somalia. The same guy who founded this company that Ilhan wants to defend, he served in leadership roles in an organization, Somali Islamic Courts Union, a radical Islamic element. He also was Al-Shabaab, this group that he and his telecom company support, was listed for targeted sanctions in April 2010. He also is identified, this guy who founded this telecom company, Ilhan Omar is all worried about, this guy Jamali is identified as one of Al-Shabaab's, and again, one of the most violent, horrific, murderous, jihadist terrorist groups in the country, in the world. This guy Jamali, is one of their main chief financiers. He goes on, I can read story after story after story. So she tweets out, let's support this guy, this company. Isn't this great? Well, let me just ask you, if you were Ilhan Omar, say you think she's innocent, she would never advocate anything bad. Say you're Ilhan Omar, and you just heard about a telecom company in Somalia, and it seemed like they were having a hard time, and you want to encourage people to support them, and then you found out that this telecom company was founded by a guy who funds jihadist terror, who commits jihadist terror. In fact, there was one action that they did. I do want to share that one if I can find it quickly, but there was one thing they did. They were part of smuggling weapons in that led to one of the largest, in fact, the largest jihadist terror attack in Somalia, killing 538 people in that ballpark, and this group was part of it. This group, funded by this guy Jamali, was part of enabling that terror attack. We're not talking about people who just sit around and discuss in the abstract, what do you think about jihad? These are people who do it. So say you're Ilhan Omar and you really don't support terrorism, you think it's completely awful, and you're a peaceful Muslim, and so you put this tweet out, and then someone says, hey, Ilhan Omar, you know what? This group is actually really horrible. They actually fund terrorism, they commit terrorism, they aid terrorism. Even the United Nations, pretty much run by a cabal that is sympathetic to terrorism, even they have denounced this guy and Hormuz, his company. But she didn't do that. She didn't apologize for the tweet. If you were in her shoes and you mistakenly tweeted that, I'm going to guess everyone listening to this show, you'd put a tweet out almost right away saying, hey, wait a minute, I didn't know. I just learned now, as it turns out, that this guy is a really, really bad actor. That Hormund is a really, really bad company. It's Hormud. Hormud is a really bad company. And they aid al-Shabaab, one of the worst terror organizations in the world. If you were a peaceful Muslim, as she claims she is, you would never let that tweet stand. She's fine with it being out there. I'll tell you one thing that's very interesting. The person who pointed all this out about what Ilhan Omar wrote and who this terrorist group is actually an imam in Australia named Muhammad, Tawhidi. He is an imam. He's Muslim. He's in Australia, and he puts out pieces all the time pointing out how dangerous and radical Ilhan Omar is. Now, I know a lot of people involved in trying to wake America up to the threat of Islamic terror in this country, and they don't even think this guy's a good actor. They think he's part of the problem too. He might be pointing out Ilhan Omar as even worse, but he still is embracing the Quran. He still is embracing Islam, which at its core contains, in the very book that founded the religion, the Quran, which Muslims believe is the absolute final truth of God revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, can never be changed, can never be altered, can never be updated, can never be moderated, can't do those things. He's still a follower of that faith. But that's the guy who put this story out. And again, all the stories I'm telling you, you can find on our website, americacanwetalk.org. You go to the homepage under shows, drop down, list of links, and you can read this story. But understand, she's putting out a tweet urging support and protection for a terror organization. She also, we can't even get into it today, but her ethical troubles are extreme. And I'm telling you, she's kind of daring her own party and daring America to apply the rule of law to her. She doesn't want to do it. She does not think she should actually have to comply or answer for her wrongdoing. But that's a whole other story, not for today.